When the Astute-class submarines were conceived, they were meant to be the ultimate expression of Britain's underwater power. Stealthy, powerful, and capable of roaming the world's oceans. At 97 metres long and weighing over 7,000 tons, they are the largest and most capable attack submarine ever built for the Royal Navy. Powered by a Rolls-Royce nuclear reactor that never needs refuelling, and capable of spending 3 months submerged, the Astute-class represents decades of expertise in British submarine design. These boats can strike targets 1,000 kilometres inland, hunt enemy submarines, and shadow carrier groups with lethal precision. But today, much of that potential lies dormant. The Royal Navy has 5 Astute-class submarines in service: HMS Astute, HMS Ambush, HMS Artful, HMS Audacious, and HMS Anson. Yet at times only 1 or 2 are actually ready for deployment. The gap between what these submarines were designed to achieve and what they can realistically deliver has become one of the most pressing crises in Britain's modern naval history. This is the story of the Astute Gap, the combination of technical brilliance, industrial overstretch, and maintenance gridlock that has left Britain's finest submarines tied up to the pier instead of prowling the depths. Across the entire Royal Navy nuclear fleet, 9 boats in total, including both attack and ballistic missile submarines, it's believed that at certain points only 2 have been available for immediate operations. That level of readiness leaves the UK dangerously exposed. Attack submarines are essential to escort carrier groups, gather intelligence, and maintain the underwater shield that supports the UK's nuclear deterrent. Without enough available SSNs, the Royal Navy struggles to cover its global commitments, from the North Atlantic to the Indo-Pacific, and risks undermining its reputation as a dependable ally. The problem has been building for years. With the last Trafalgar-class submarine, HMS Triumph, retiring in 2024 after more than 30 years of service, the fleet's strength has now fallen to its lowest in living memory. Only the 5 Astute-class boats currently remain in service, while the final 2 are still being completed at Barrow. HMS Agamemnon has recently completed its first trim dive at Barrow and is around 18 months from being fully operational. The final boat, HMS Achilles, is due to enter service in 2028 or 2029. Delays, cost overruns, and a maintenance backlog have combined to create a perfect storm, a fleet that is advanced but operationally fragile. To understand how serious this loss of capability is, it's worth recalling just how advanced these submarines are. The Astute-class was the first British submarine designed using 3D computer modelling, a revolution in naval construction at the time. The Astutes have a 40% greater internal volume than the preceding Trafalgars. That extra size provides the internal volume needed for long deployments, advanced sensors, and larger weapons payload. Stealth was the overriding design goal. The Astutes are believed to be the quietest submarines Britain has ever produced, thanks to a combination of sound dampening hull coatings, an advanced pump jet propulsion system, and the complete removal of traditional optical periscopes. Instead, the class uses optronic masts and digital and thermal imaging. It's an extraordinary concentration of technology. The internal wiring alone would stretch from Barrow-in-Furness to Preston. At the heart of each Astute is the Rolls-Royce PWR-2 reactor, a design capable of running for the boat's entire lifespan without refueling. In theory, this eliminates one of the biggest historic downtime burdens in nuclear submarine operations: midlife refueling. It also develops 6 times the power of its predecessor that powered the Trafalgar class. With the PWR-2, an Astute-class submarine should be able to remain on duty for decades without ever replacing its reactor core. That's the kind of endurance that allows global reach, the ability to circle the planet underwater, surfacing only when the crew needs more food. Yet despite this impressive innovation, maintenance delays on conventional systems have more than offset the reactor's intended advantage. Non-nuclear issues, everything from corrosion to software integration, now keep the class tied up in dock for years at a time. The combat systems of the Astute are as formidable as its design. The sonar suite, Sonar 2076, is one of the most capable in the world, providing both active and passive detection through hull-mounted and towed arrays. Armament is delivered through 6 21-inch torpedo tubes, capable of firing up to 38 weapons. The main arsenal includes Spearfish heavyweight torpedoes for ship and submarine targets, and the Tomahawk Block 4 cruise missile for precision land attack, giving the Royal Navy global strike reach capability from beneath the waves. Each boat is, in effect, a self-contained underwater strike platform, and yet the Royal Navy has too few of them at sea when they are most needed. The clearest example of the Astute Gap lies with HMS Ambush, the second boat in the class. Once a symbol of Britain's undersea power, she spent more than 3 years, over 1,175 days, inactive. This isn't an isolated incident or the result of one-off technical faults. It's a symptom of a much deeper systemic failure in how the boat is maintained and supported. Even in its early years, HMS Ambush suffered from teething problems. During one sea trial in the Clyde estuary, the boat was forced to return to port after suffering a non-nuclear malfunction that caused steam to vent from the conning tower. An incident that raised eyebrows amongst nuclear engineers, even as the Ministry of Defence insisted it posed no safety risk. Issues like this, repeated across the class, have accumulated into long, costly repair cycles. More serious were the revelations about corrosion discovered in the first 2 Astute boats. Internal MOD documents later linked this to cost-cutting measures during construction, including inadequate protective coatings and lapses in quality control. Engineers warned that some components had been compromised, and that corrosion problems could appear years earlier than expected. They were right. The result was a need for major remedial work, effectively undoing the savings made during construction. HMS Ambush's years in dock aren't just a technical delay, they represent the consequences for earlier short-term decisions. The consequences ripple across the fleet. With so few boats available, the operational burden falls upon whichever Astute happens to be functional. Likely HMS Anson in recent years. In 2023 and 2024, at one point, only 2 British submarines, 1 Astute and 1 Vanguard class, were ready for deployment. The impact of that scarcity is immense. 1 Vanguard class was kept at sea for a record-breaking 204 days, a sign of how stretched the system has become. Extended patrols like that place heavy wear on equipment and even heavier strain on crews. They also increase the risk of failure and feed into the cycle of maintenance delays that caused the problem in the first place. At its core, the Astute Gap isn't just about one submarine or one shipyard. It's a result of a national-level industrial bottleneck, a system that's been operating at full stretch for years with no margin for error. Britain's nuclear submarine fleet relies on just 2 bases, Faslane on the Clyde and Devonport in Plymouth. Both are heavily used, aging facilities. They were never designed to handle the simultaneous deep maintenance for so many complex nuclear platforms. At the same time, nearly all design and construction expertise is concentrated in a single shipyard, BAE Systems at Barrow in Furness. That yard is now tasked with completing the final Astutes, building the new Dreadnought-class ballistic missile submarines, and preparing for the joint AUKUS submarine program. There is no spare capacity. Any delay in one project cascades through to the entire nuclear enterprise. Even with adequate facilities, the UK faces a severe shortage of skilled nuclear workers, from welders and pipe fitters to system engineers and naval technicians. The Infrastructure and Projects Authority has warned that this shortage directly affects the delivery pace of both new construction and refit work. The cost of inefficiency is staggering. The Astute programme's total bill has risen to over £12 billion. These aren't abstract figures, they represent years of lost operational time and the erosion of Britain's hard-won submarine capability. Even the nuclear reactors themselves are not immune to potential problems. The same PWR-2 reactor design used in the Astute-class is also fitted to the Vanguard-class ballistic missile submarines. After test results revealed microscopic cracking in the fuel cladding, the MOD had to replace one reactor core, an unexpected £120 million operation. If a similar issue emerges in the Astutes, the UK's overworked industrial base would have no spare capacity to cope. A single unplanned reactor repair could cause cascading delays across the fleet. The effects of this maintenance crisis is not only technical or financial, they're deeply human and strategic. When submarines spend years in dock, there is a knock-on effect on their crews. Schedules are constantly changing, deployments are extended or cancelled, and families have to live with the uncertainty, which impacts morale. For the crews who do deploy, the strain can be immense. That record day 204-day patrol by a Vanguard-class boat may sound like a feat of endurance, but it's also a warning sign. Overlong deployments wear down equipment and people alike, leading to fatigue, burnout, and ultimately loss of experience as trained submariners choose to leave the service. Meanwhile, fewer operational boats means fewer opportunities for junior officers and engineers to gain hands-on experience. Skills fade, and with them the expertise on which the service depends. It's a vicious cycle. The fewer boats available, the harder it becomes to sustain the people who keep them running. On the world stage, the Astute Gap undermines the UK's credibility as a first-rank naval power. The Royal Navy has long been relied upon to patrol the North Atlantic, deter hostile submarines, and support NATO's collective defence. But with only one or two submarines operational at a time, Britain's contribution to these missions becomes limited. It also calls into question its ability to meet new commitments, particularly under the AUKUS partnership, where the UK is expected to help design and build nuclear submarines for Australia. It's difficult to promise industrial and operational support abroad when the home fleet is struggling to stay at sea. In short, the Astute Gap isn't just about hardware, it's about credibility. A Navy's reputation rests on its ability, not ambition. The Astute-class submarines were meant to be Britain's silent hunters, global, enduring, and unstoppable. On paper, they remain one of the most advanced attack submarine designs in the world, but in practice, they've become symbols of an industrial system stretched to the breaking point. The underlying causes of the Astute Gap are clear. Construction shortcuts in the early builds that created long-term corrosion problems. Industrial overstretch, with one shipyard trying to deliver three national priorities at once. A critical lack of skilled labour, made worse by ageing facilities long overdue for modernisation. It's slowing down maintenance and sapping operational tempo. If these issues aren't addressed, Britain risks losing the one capability that has consistently set it apart since the Cold War: a world-class, globally deployable nuclear attack submarine force. Fixing the problem requires political will and investment, not just rhetoric. The Royal Navy needs upgraded dockyard capacity at Faslane and Devonport, predictable funding to stabilise delivery schedules, and a long-term national plan to train and retain the skilled workforce that underpins the entire nuclear enterprise. because in the end, the Astute Gap is not just a matter of pride or procurement, it's about whether Britain can maintain a credible undersea power in an increasingly dangerous world. And right now, the Royal Navy's most advanced submarines are waiting for someone to turn on the funding and set them free again. If you've got your own take on the Astute Gap or ideas for future topics, let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, thanks for watching.